aesthetics, or the journey to becoming the buff dude. Now with aesthetics comes symmetry, and with symmetry comes great responsibility. When you think about it, everyone's imperfect, so everyone's a little asymmetrical, a little more than others. I mean, I'm pretty perfect, but anyways, we've gotten a lot of questions on how to build a symmetrical physique. So we're gonna be going over a few tips you can introduce into your program and workout schedule to help with building that buff dude symmetrical body. Let's get started. First, let's talk a little bit about the dominant side. Either it be right-handed or left-handed. If you're right-handed, you tend to have a dominant side on your right side. If you're left-handed, you're gonna have a dominant side on your left. So let's say, for example, you're gonna do curls. Curls, barbell curls, are a bilateral exercise, and bilateral means two sides being affected at the same time. So with a bilateral curl and a barbell curl, your dominant side, whether you know it or not, is actually gonna be contracting a little bit harder than your weaker side. So in my case, since I'm right-handed, my right side is gonna be working a little bit harder because it's stronger, trying to get you through the motion. So one of the tips we like to say is consciously try to activate your weaker side through a bilateral motion. So if you're doing curls and you have the bar, make sure you're thinking about contracting that left side as you're curling up to make sure you're getting it to activate properly and evenly with the right side. So when you come down, you want to be thinking about this left side and pulling with that left side. Not that you're pulling it more, but you're just consciously activating it, getting a nice squeeze, and then lowering it down to the bottom position. And this can work with any exercise, whether it be bench press, squats, you know, you name it. So you just got to think about working that weaker side to make sure it's activating properly. So now we just went over bilateral, two sides being affected at the same time. And consciously contracting your weaker side is mainly for maintenance and making sure you keep a symmetrical physique. Unfortunately, a lot of times, one side is gonna already be smaller than your dominant side. So what you gotta do is start introducing unilateral work. Unilateral work is the exact opposite of bilateral work. It's meaning one side is only affected at a time. So let's say we're doing curls again, but this time, now we wanna do unilateral work. Well, my right side is obviously more dominant and a little bit larger than my left arm. So what you gotta do is you're gonna be starting with your weaker side in a unilateral motion, meaning curls. So you're gonna do the accepted reps, let's say around 10 to 12 is the planned reps in the program. You're gonna be performing that exercise. And once you get that done, you're gonna go to your dominant side, perform the exact same reps. Once you get that done, you're gonna move right on to the next side, which is gonna be your weaker side, and perform a few more reps. That means you're always constantly going to be doing more work in your weaker side, and this is gonna force it to grow and hopefully get a little bit more symmetrical physique and match your dominant side. So this is a good way too of that mind-muscle connection, is if you do unilateral work, you're gonna actually be able to focus on that muscle a little bit more through the motion as well. So you're not only getting a little bit more work with alternating the reps, first your weaker side, dominant side, back to your weaker side for a few more reps to really get that burn and get those muscles contracted, but you're also gonna be mentally being able to contract that weaker side better through the motion while you're working it. Now I know it can be a little bit disheartening when you step in the gym and you do a front double bicep, or you're looking in the mirror in the morning and one side, you can actually visually tell one side is bigger than the other. And you're thinking, I'm doing all this work and my physique is just not building properly. And what you gotta remember is when you implement into the program unilateral work to really specifically work one muscle a little bit more than the other to bring it up to par with the dominant side, you have to be consistent with it. You're not gonna do unilateral work for a week and then all of a sudden see development in your left chest muscle, your left pec, start matching your right. You have to be consistent with it. So you're gonna have to really design the program and really always have that in mind and have that in your goal of performing that unilateral work. And that brings me along the lines of right into unilateral exercises can be really performed in any exercise, whether it be bench press, squats, I mean, you name it, you can really implement unilateral work in anything you do. So that is the one good thing. You just have to remember to be consistent with it. There you have it, dudes. Hopefully these tips are gonna help you build that nice buff dude aesthetic physique. Remember, everyone's gonna run through these problems. It's gonna be, one side's bigger than the others, it's gonna be a little bit asymmetrical, which is okay. One important thing is what you wanna remember is try to catch it early on. So try not to just keep working out normally as usually doing your normal routine and you're starting to see those asymmetrical problems and you don't do anything about it. Hopefully with these tools we gave you, you're gonna start implementing them into your program if you do have any asymmetrical problems or imbalances, and you'll start working them out, and then that way, the next year or so, you can have a perfect buff dude physique. All right, dudes, thanks so much. And if you have any recommendations or comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comments below. Stay buff, dudes.